that displayed her cleavage. As usual, she looked like she'd stepped off a catwalk, with her swishy black hair framing cheekbones you could cut yourself on. Thanks. She helped herself to a flute of champagne, then stiffened. Is that him? Her gaze moved past me and narrowed. You didn't tell me he was gorgeous. Heart exploding, I spun around to see Tom descending the sweeping staircase, hands in his trouser pockets. Carrie! Brightening, he jumped the last few steps. Thanks for coming. He tugged at his bow tie as though it was strangling him. I wasn't sure you would. Really? Hi, I said, feeling shy. Seeing him in such different surroundings, scrubbed up and clean-shaven, his dark hair neater than usual, was disconcerting. He was wearing aftershave, and the scent ignited my senses. You look nice, he said, his Marmite-coloured eyes grazing my hair, which immediately felt too boofy. I like the dress. Resisting an impulse to cover myself with my hands, I muttered, Thanks. Feeling more was required, I added, You too. Nice. You look. Now I sounded like Yoda. I handed over a card and a gift-wrapped picture of his dog, which I'd had framed. Hovis, so called because he resembled a small brown loaf, was the three-legged terrier I'd rescued from the side of the road the year before, on my way to college, and had driven to the nearest vet's, the one where Tom was working as part of his veterinary training. Happy birthday, I said, trying and failing to screw up the courage to kiss him. I'd never done it before and worried we might end up bumping noses. That's nice of you. His face relaxed into his familiar crinkly-eyed smile. I hope you won't be bored, he said. Most of the guests are people my father knows, and relatives I haven't seen for years. Of course not, I said, in lieu of a witty comeback. Normally we'd chatted easily, but normally we'd be at the pub or watching a film with his house-share friends, or walking hovers on the beach, not standing in a hall that could have passed as a hotel lobby. Aware of Megan's barely concealed impatience, I said, I hope it was okay to bring a friend. He turned his head, as if he'd only just noticed I wasn't alone. This is Megan Ford. Hi, Megan. He nodded politely. Hello, birthday boy. Why was she using her flirty voice? I've heard a lot about you, she said, dancing her fingernails up his arm as she tilted her cheek for a kiss. All good, I hope. A small gasp escaped me as Tom's lips briefly touched her skin. Why hadn't I kissed him? Now Megan had been more intimate with him than I had. Carrie's always going on about your little walks with that adorable dog you adopted, she said, though I knew for a fact she hated dogs and had pulled a horrible face when I showed her a picture of Hovis. Unlike me, she loves being outdoors. She threw me an aren't you adorable look, reducing my status to that of annoying sister. When she hasn't got her head buried in a maths book. She made it sound as though studying accounts was missing the point of life, but before I could defend myself, she prized my unopened card and gift from Tom's hand, passed them back to me, and slipped her slender arm through his. Your home is amazing. You have to give me a tour, she said. Then maybe you can introduce me to your parents. I'd love to pick your father's brain. Tom threw me a comical look over his shoulder, but let her propel him towards a set of double doors, which were opened to reveal a high-ceilinged room, strung with bunting and silver balloons, and filled with people in evening dress, talking over each other. I dumped his gift and card on a curvy console table, and scuttled after them, stiff-legged in my heels, accepting a drink from the waiter's tray on the way. When I looked up, I saw Megan laughing, inappropriately loudly, at something Tom had said, and was hit by a wave of jealousy. What are you doing? I said half an hour later, dragging her into a side room, away from the blaring jazz and overdressed press of gym-honed bodies. What do you mean? Megan wrenched from my grasp, a frown marring her face. I was trying to get Tom to dance. He hates dancing, I said peevishly. He won't when I've finished with him. Megan grinned and adjusted her dress.